In honor of our yellow friend's birthday, you know I had to come up with another SpongeBob video. I think that goes without saying that I'm a huge SpongeBob fan, as most of you probably guessed at this point. Not like I've made a lot of recent videos on it or anything, but no, seriously, happy birthday SpongeBob, and big thanks to the man Steven Hillenberg. This show wouldn't exist without you and Tom Kenny, of course. So now let's just dive into the video. As you've seen in the title, we're going to be listing the top 8 best SpongeBob and Squidward episodes. Squidward is definitely the most relatable character in the show, and it's nice to see him go on adventures with SpongeBob. Since we're all aware, Squidward most of the time isn't the biggest fan of SpongeBob, so with all that said, be sure to drop a like on this video if you guys enjoy, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button so I know you like my content. With all that said, let's begin. Starting off this list at our number 1 spot, we have Squid on strike. Tired of Mr. Krabs' lack of care for his loyal employees, Squidward convinces SpongeBob to join him on a strike, so they can prove to Mr. Krabs he can't maintain the Krusty Krab without them. I don't see a lot of people mention this episode. It wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't the worst either. The episode pace is pretty great. It has a lot of moments in it, especially when Squid realizes he'll be stuck doing this strike forever and ever. In the end, both Squidward and Mr. Krabs admit they can't function without one another, so they strike a deal to be treated more fairly. But it's never that easy for Squidward because SpongeBob unfortunately beats them to the punch and destroys the Krusty Krab, so they can now work for him for the rest of their lives. I mean, hey, at least they got their jobs back, right? Number 2 is Squid's Day Off, and man was this such a funny episode. So it all starts off with Mr. Krabs getting injured from trying to grab a coin from down the drain, so he's forced to leave the Krusty Krabs in the hands of Squidward, who ends up looking at this as a way to get the day off. But when he ends up having nightmares that SpongeBob will destroy the Krusty Krab, he constantly runs back to the Krusty Krab back and forth, and then he ends up realizing that SpongeBob is just sitting there doing literally nothing. It's a gag that works really well, and the ending is one of the biggest uh-oh moments I've seen in the show. And that's not hyperbole, I genuinely mean it. After all the fuss of Squidward going back and forth to the Krusty Krab, they both find that they left the not open sign on the whole entire time. Poor Squidward. Number 3 is Dying for Pie, and the level of work Squidward puts in this episode is off the charts amazing, and it really does show he has a heart towards SpongeBob. So for Employee Brotherhood Day, Mr. Krabs makes Squidward go out and get SpongeBob a real gift, but when he mistakenly buys a pie that was a bomb, and he thinks SpongeBob already ate it. So he dedicates the entire day to SpongeBob doing whatever he wants, all the way until the bomb explodes in his lower intestines. From playing doctor to playing act like an idiot, he does it all. The ending scene of the beautiful sunset with SpongeBob and Squidward is so incredible to watch, especially the actual footage of an actual explosion. Halfway on our list, we have Pizza Delivery, by far one of the most known classic episodes. So Mr. Krabs forces SpongeBob and Squidward to deliver a pizza. Pretty simple plot that works really well. I just love how determined SpongeBob is to deliver the pizza to the customer, while Squidward just couldn't care less. But when they finally reach their destination, the customer won't accept the delivery because of the infamous missing Dr. Kelp, which makes SpongeBob break down, and Squidward stands up for SpongeBob and throws the pizza in the guy's face. I love it. Number 5 is Squidville. In this episode, after having enough of SpongeBob and Patrick's shenanigans, Squidward takes it upon himself to move out and move to Tentacle Anchors, a town full of people just like him, and SpongeBob and Patrick do all they can to convince him to move back. I really enjoyed all the gags and jokes in this episode. Like, how many times have you seen the I hate this channel meme? Be honest. Anyway, Squidward ends up doing the same routine day in and day out, which causes him to become so bored and actually makes him miss the old life he had. Nothing else to say, definitely a solid episode and one of my favorites. Number 6 is The Graveyard Shift. It's known for not only the iconic tale of the hash-slinging slasher, but it's the dark setting. After Mr. Krabs makes SpongeBob and Squidward do the night shift at the Krusty Krab, Squidward decides to mess with SpongeBob. However, everything in his story ends up actually happening, and it's one of those memorable episodes that actually makes you feel like you're there with the characters. And who could forget the first appearance of Nosferatu? Definitely one of my favorite dark episodes of SpongeBob, and it's really coincidental that it's also a Squidward episode as well. Nearing the end of our list at our number 7 spot, we have Geeks, and it's universally known as one of the best episodes in the entire series, and that goes without saying. After getting a call from his arch enemy, Squilly and Fancy Son, to have his band perform in the Bikini Bottom Bubble Goal that's coming up, so Squidward scrambles to go out and form his band. which he ends up struggling when nobody can get along for more than 5 minutes, and Patrick for some reason thinks mayonnaise is an instrument. I really gotta say I love that meme, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows it at this point. And that's besides the point, because in the end, Squidward succeeds and you hear the sweet victory playing in the air. Such an incredible song. At our great number 8 spot, we have my favorite episode of all time, SB129. And coincidentally, it's a Squidward episode out of all things. Trying to get some peace and quiet, Squidward accidentally gets himself locked in the freezer for 2,000 years, which causes him to wake up in the future where everything is all chrome. I love seeing all the time travel locations from the past, future, and oh yeah, the universe where Squidward is all alone. So many things happen in only 11 minutes, it almost makes you think it's a lot longer. It's a 10 out of 10 episode for me. I've said before it's my all-time favorite SpongeBob episode of all time, and it's probably going to stay in that spot for a while. But alright viewers, that crosses off our top 8 best SpongeBob and Squidward episodes. I know not all of them were directly about them, but close enough, right? All of this is to honor SpongeBob's birthday. I'll say it again, happy birthday SpongeBob. Big thanks again to Steven Hillenburg and Tom Kenny and the rest of the SpongeBob crew. With all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.